New Mexico Territory, 1879. The desert never forgave blood. It buried it. The wind swept over dead men like they had never existed. Towns vanished beneath sandstorms. Graves cracked open under the summer heat. And somewhere between the mountains and hell itself stood a cursed little place called Black Hollow. People said the devil lived there, but the devil had a name. Silas Kane, ranch king, smuggler, murderer, the most feared man west of the Rio Grande. And his daughter was worse. Rain hammered the roof of the saloon as the stranger pushed through the swinging doors. Dusty black coat, silver revolver, eyes colder than winter steel. The piano stopped instantly. Everyone recognized death when it walked in. "Who's asking for Eli Mercer?" the stranger said quietly. Nobody answered. The bartender swallowed hard. "You him?" The stranger nodded once. A drunk cowboy laughed from the corner booth. "That gunslinger from Tombstone? Heard you killed 12 men over a horse." Eli slowly looked toward him. 13. Silence. The drunk's smile vanished. Eli walked toward the counter. "I'm looking for Silas Kane." At the mention of the name, the room became a graveyard, the bartender whispered carefully. "Then you rode into the wrong town." Eli placed a silver coin down. "Maybe." Then the saloon doors opened again, and she walked in. Black velvet dress, rainwater dripping from dark curls. A silver cross around her throat. Her beauty hit the room like a bullet. Every man stared, but she only stared at Eli, like she already knew him.
"Careful," she said softly.
Men who ask about Silas Kane usually end up buried outside town. Eli held her gaze. "Then I better ask louder." She smiled slightly. "Not warm. Dangerous. My father likes dangerous men." That's when Eli understood. This woman was Silas Kane's daughter. Her name was Isabella Kane, and Black Hollow feared her almost as much as her father. Some called her a witch. Others claimed every man who loved her ended up dead. Eli didn't believe ghost stories, but something about her unsettled him. She moved through the town like darkness wearing perfume. "You should leave tonight," Isabella warned as they stood beneath the saloon porch. "And if I don't?" Her eyes drifted toward his revolver. "Then you'll kill people." "I've done that before." "Yes," she whispered. "That's what scares me." Lightning cracked across the sky. For one brief second, Eli saw sadness behind her eyes. Not cruelty, pain. Then horses thundered down the street. 6 armed riders. Kane men. Their leader spat tobacco into the mud. "Miss Kane, your father wants you home." Isabella's expression hardened instantly. "I didn't ask." The rider looked toward Eli. "Who's this?" Eli answered before she could. "Problem." The rider grinned. "Big mistake." The gunshot exploded before anyone moved. Eli's revolver flashed once. The rider fell dead into the mud. Chaos erupted. Another gunman reached for his weapon. Bang, dead. Screaming horses reared as bullets shattered windows. Eli moved like a phantom. Cold, precise, merciless. 3 men died in seconds. The remaining riders fled into the storm. Silence returned. Rain mixed with blood in the dirt road. Isabella stared at Eli in shock. "You just declared war on my father." Eli holstered his revolver. "I came here for war." That night, Isabella brought Eli to an abandoned church outside town. Candles flickered inside broken walls. "You hide gunslingers in churches often?" Eli asked. "I hide wounded animals." Eli smirked slightly. First smile she'd seen from him. She cleaned blood from a cut near his shoulder. Her fingers brushed his skin carefully. "You've been shot before." "Many times." "And stabbed." "Yes. And burned." Eli looked at her. "How can you tell?" "Because pain recognizes pain." That answer stayed between them. Heavy. Dangerous. Outside, thunder rolled through the mountains. Inside the church, something shifted. Eli finally asked the question haunting him. "Why does your father kill innocent people?" Isabella's hands stopped moving. "He wasn't always a monster." "Monsters rarely start that way." She stared into the candlelight. "When I was 14, my mother tried to leave him." Eli stayed silent. Isabella's voice trembled. "He burned our house down with her inside." The room became ice cold. "He made me watch." Eli's jaw tightened. "And ever since," she whispered, "I've been waiting for someone brave enough to kill him." Their eyes met. and suddenly the air between them changed. Not trust, something darker. Two broken souls recognizing each other. Then she kissed him. Hard, desperate. Like a woman drowning. Eli froze for one brief second before pulling her closer. Rain crashed outside as their shadows merged in candlelight. But neither of them noticed the figure watching from the church window. A scarred cowboy rode away into the night, straight towards Silas Kane. Silas Kane sat in his mansion overlooking Black Hollow, massive, silent, like a fortress built by demons. The scarred cowboy entered carefully. "Sir, your daughter's with him." Silas slowly poured whiskey into a glass. "And?" "He killed 5 of our men." That finally made Silas smile. "Interesting. Should we bring her home?" Silas stared into the fire. "No." The cowboy hesitated. "Then what?" Silas drank slowly. "Let her fall in love first." Over the next few days, Eli and Isabella rode together across the desert. The closer they became, the more dangerous everything felt. She showed him hidden canyons. He taught her how to shoot. She laughed for the first time in years. And Eli, who once killed without regret, began imagining a life beyond revenge. But peace never lasts in the West. Especially not for men like Eli Mercer. One evening, they discovered a train surrounded by Kane gang riders. Bodies everywhere. Smoke rising. Children crying. Silas Kane himself stood near the wreckage. Tall, gray beard, eyes black as coal. The devil. Isabella froze. Her father smiled slowly. "There's my daughter." Eli's hand drifted toward his revolver. Silas noticed. "Easy, gunslinger, or these hostages die." Eli counted at least 20. Armed men. Bad odds. Silas approached Isabella calmly. "You disappoint me. You murdered innocent people. They were transporting gold." "You killed children." Silas shrugged. "Children grow into enemies." Eli had heard enough. His revolver flashed. Bang. A Kane gunman dropped dead. Hell exploded. Bullets tore through the train yard. People screamed. Horses crashed into flames. Eli fought like death itself. But Kane's men overwhelmed them. A rifle struck Eli across the skull. Darkness swallowed him. The last thing he heard was Isabella screaming his name. Eli awoke chained inside a mine shaft. Blood covered his face. A lantern flickered nearby. And Isabella sat beside him. Bruised, crying silently. "They're going to hang you at sunrise," she whispered. Eli tried standing. Chains rattled. "No," she nodded. "My father wants the town to watch." Eli stared at her injuries. "He hit you?" She looked away. That answer was enough. Something murderous awakened inside Eli Mercer. Not rage. Something colder. Silas Kane entered the mine slowly. "You know," Kane said calmly, "I almost respect you." Eli spat blood. "Should have killed you at the train." Kane smiled. Many men tried. Then he looked at Isabella. "You love him?" Silence. That silence answered everything. Kane sighed almost sadly. "That's unfortunate." Then he pulled out a knife and pressed it against Eli's throat. "You see, daughter, love makes people weak." Isabella stepped forward desperately. "Please." Kane backhanded her across the ground. Eli snapped. Chain screamed as he lunged forward. Pure animal fury. Kane laughed. "Yes, that is why I like you." Then Kane whispered something horrifying. "I killed your brother too, Eli?" Everything stopped. Eli's face went pale. "How?" Kane smiled. "I remember every man I bury." The truth hit like lightning. 10 years ago, Silas Kane had murdered Eli's family. This wasn't revenge anymore. This was destiny. At sunrise, the town gathered for the hanging. Wind howled through Black Hollow. Eli stood on the gallows. Hands. Tied. No fear in his eyes. Only death. Silas addressed the crowd proudly. "This is what happens to men who challenge me." But hidden among the crowd, Isabella held a revolver beneath her coat. Tears streamed down her face. The executioner tightened the rope. Silas raised his hand. "Any final words?" Eli looked directly at him. "Yes." Then gunfire erupted. Bang. The executioner collapsed. Panic exploded through town. Isabella fired again. Eli grabbed the falling executioner's knife and cut himself loose. Then hell arrived. Bullets tore through windows. Explosions shattered buildings. The entire town became a battlefield beneath the blood-red moon. Eli fought toward Kane like a demon reborn. One gunman. Dead. Another. Dead. Silas fired a shotgun. Boom. Eli flew through a wooden wall. Isabella screamed. Kane reloaded calmly. You should have stayed dead, boy. Eli emerged from the smoke bleeding heavily. Still walking. Still hunting. Then the final duel began. Street empty. Wind silent. Two killers facing destiny. Eli drew first. Bang. Silas fired simultaneously. Both men froze. Silas looked down slowly. Blood spread across his chest. Eli staggered too. Shot through the side. Silas smiled weakly. You know the difference between us? Eli aimed again. What? Silas coughed blood. You still believe love can save you. Bang. Silas Kane collapsed dead in the dirt. The devil finally fell. Weeks later, Black Hollow was changing. The fear was gone. But legends remained. Some claimed Eli Mercer died from his wounds. Others swore they saw him riding south with a dark-haired woman beside him. Toward Mexico, toward somewhere peaceful, far from blood, far from graves. But on certain nights, when the desert wind screams beneath the moon, people still whisper about the gunslinger who fell in love with the devil's daughter, and how love almost destroyed them both.